Please stand for
We have a small flag,
allegiance,
yes.
please. And pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Okay, roll call.
Ally Pollock.
Tim Shalleck,
Mandy Hagedorn.
And David Hatter
And Larry
Robin?
Gonzalez.
and Larry
Larry
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez again.
Okay,
And Robin Doty, Library Director.
okay. Has everyone reviewed the minutes from the August 20 meeting?
yes.
Any issues? Okay, I'll entertain a motion,
You can do the agenda with,
to adopt the consent agenda.
oh, okay. I move that we adopt the consent agenda.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to adopt the consent agenda, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Moving on, public comment. I see all the public are
Okay.
there.
Okay. I didn't receive anything ahead of the meeting as per usual. This meeting.
Okay, we can move on. Reports, library director.
Hi, everyone. Please enjoy some snacks from leftover from team council. We always have snacks around the library. So it is library card sign up month, this month. And, we talked about in the last library board meeting, I did a little presentation on the League of Library Lovers. Right now, the little marketing campaign going on by WCCLS, and the September prize, I know that library board wasn't eligible to play, but you kindly said you would spread the word and people are really enjoying it. And it's just been a fun, little fall incentive. We're back in full swing with story times, back in session. And our new pop-up story times, I'm really excited to tell you, have had 50 people attend both of the first two pop-up story times in the park we've done.
Wow.
Oh, good.
50
And
people a session?
50 at each, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Do you have a sense of where they came from?
so these first two were in the Brenhill neighborhood. They're gonna go around to the different parks, different
Mhm.
neighborhoods. Emily did the schedule, so, during the season where we still should have good weather or an option to go undercover. And so it was mostly people from the neighborhood, although she said some people said they drove there to go.
So how was that word put out?
Well, we could do several channels of communication. We promote things in the library, so we word of mouth and posting things in the library is one way we help get out information. We have our social media channels. We have Instagram and Facebook. We've also put stuff on there's a North Plains community Facebook page that will put our events on too. Upcoming, and the city generally shares those also on theirs. So we try to, get things out that way. Sometimes the Friends of the Library will share our things on their Facebook, or so we try to, share each other's social media. Or put it in this places where community members will see it. And then we also had it in the Library Buzz newsletter that goes out once a month to all library card holders, so they could live anywhere if we're their library, if they are registered at our library. And then also in the water bill for people who get the city water, it's in that newsletter.
Oh, pretty widespread.
So, I mean, those are our regular channels.
So we're both events, if I understand you correctly, you had two events and you had 50 people at each event. And were they the same? Was it over? I didn't quite here
They were
we,
both at Bren Hill in the park, at the new neighborhood in the park over
in
there.
the off North Avenue
Yeah.
or
Oh.
Sunset Ridge?
Sunset Ridge, is a different neighborhood than Bren Hill.
Okay,
So they will, they'll be there and
Okay.
they'll be at Jesse Mays too.
but both of them are, anybody within the library district.
Oh, they're
It's
open to
open
the
to
public.
public,
Oh,
but
yes.
you had a big turnout
In the public park,
there. Yeah,
but that's just where it was located because
Okay.
our idea was we hadn't had much attendance when we've tried to do evening or weekend story times, and we felt like we weren't reaching our working families necessarily, so we wanted to try something else. And like going to where people are after work, and it seems to have been successful, yeah.
That's really
So
exciting.
It's very exciting for us,
That's
because
really-
we've tried all kinds of things.
That's really
Saturday,
wonderful
different
news.
times on Saturday, other evenings in like PJ Storytime in the library, Hindi PJ Storytime in the library.
Well, it's
We've
a
done a
perfect
lot of different.
Pocket of time where sports haven't fully started yet, so like in the evenings, families aren't.
It's
you know.
really hard. I mean, and also just people are busy, and when they get home, they kind of sometimes, at least speaking from my experience,
Yeah,
I didn't really want to go anywhere.
but this is the right time to start it,
It
because people are fresh off summer and.
So I'm very, very excited.
Mhm.
So
Hey.
really happy to share.
Robin, I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, did we ever get somebody to do the volunteer coordinator position like Carol? Or is that
Jason
still,
Crane, our new library supervisor, that's 50% of his role.
okay, cause and I'm not sure if this is the forum for it, but I would like for, some board members to get together with them on like an ad hoc committee or something to talk about volunteer outreach, to get more volunteers for the library and the stuff we have going, especially if, once the levy passes, we're gonna need some extra help to figure out how we're going to increase services.
Thank you, Larry. Would you like to recommend to the library board that be on a future agenda item?
Yes,
Yeah, if you hadn't asked that, I was gonna
Okay.
ask it.
Sorry, I should let you run the meeting.
No, you're good. Put it on the agenda.
So, do you wanna, how do people here feel about that?
Okay.
Having
I
that
got
be
it,
a
Dawn.
future topic? Okay.
Yeah, the only thing, I think that's great. The only thing is, what's the new library assistant?
The new library supervisor,
Yeah.
Jason Crane?
Okay, is Jason actually we're focused on that now with his new position where we didn't have the focus before.
What we found is when we lost our full-time volunteer coordinator, that the volunteer coordinator piece of that job, because she also did outreach and
Right.
that the desk was about 15 to 20 hours a week. And so we made that about half of the library supervisor.
Right,
role.
and so all I'm asking is he had time to get his feet on the ground and running and would appreciate working with the group at this, is he ready to have some help and some input, I guess is what I'm asking.
I would say, kind of like Larry said, if the timeline is I would say after the holidays, honestly. Just because the levy's November,
Okay,
but in the new year, I think that he'd be very receptive to that and that would be
Okay,
good timing.
great. Excellent,
But I won't speak for him, but
yeah,
he is a great collaborator and team player and sure would love it.
great,
yeah,
great
so my,
suggestion.
so my request stands, if I can get that on a future agenda item, maybe at the end of the year, that would be great.
Yep, sounds good. It sounds like you have consensus for that, Larry, from what I observed
Yes,
here.
we got a head nod.
Very good.
Okay, anything else on that?
Yes, I just brought a show and tell. We're so happy to have our hotspots back in circulation. This is what they look like. People can check them out with their library card for free, and they have T-Mobile, SIM cards in them for internet, so as long as you can get that cell service, the T-Mobile network service, you can check out a hotspot and have internet for free. We had originally added these with ARPA funds during the pandemic. Remember how the pandemic sort of put a spotlight on the digital divide and people really needed to be able to be online to do anything. And so we used ARPA funds to start circulating a collection you could check out of these, but they were quite expensive. We had 12 of them and it cost over $500 a month.
Wow.
And so when those ARPA funds were exhausted, we stopped. We had to, we were hoping the county might be able to help provide them, but we had a period where we didn't have them. With the funds were gone, we did stop that because we didn't want to buy fewer books, like came out of the same bucket. Well, there's this nonprofit called Mission Telecom, and they, for 8 of these, same exact T-Mobile, because they partner T-Mobile, same service. It's, I want to get it wrong, $74 a year each.
That's crazy.
It's a nonprofit and their mission is to address the digital divide, and it's not for anybody, a private citizen can't get
Yeah.
that price. It's for public libraries and educational institutions. So it was so amazing that, it was because I went to that Washington County broadband action team thing that I found out about it, because they had a presentation. And so going to those groups, committees, you really can find out some neat stuff. And so they've been wonderful to work with, and now we have them again. We brought back 8 just because just to see how the demand is now that, and so forth, but. and-
You have to subscribe to T-Mobile is your.
No, you don't have to do anything but press
It
a
just has to
button.
be in an area that T-Mobile.
Oh, sorry,
service.
subscribe. What I meant by that was
Oh, you
if-
have to
if
be
your
in a
cell phone-
service area.
Yeah.
of T-Mobile. Okay,
you know how some of us live in areas out here that may not have cell service, that
Right,
probably wouldn't
right.
work at your house in that case, is what I meant. You don't have to subscribe to anything. So that was really exciting too. And then I had my 6-year anniversary with the city, and Brianna had also her work anniversary, fourth anniversary as a librarian here. And she completed the Oregon Library Association's Leadership Institute, which is really great. She's been working towards, possibly management in the future, really taking a leadership role in the library. It's really great. And then Emily completed her first year as a full-time early literacy specialist, and the numbers from her going part-time to full-time, our attendance numbers have jumped. I think I told you last month about that, what that number was, but it was significant. It was pretty exciting. And so we just know that has a direct impact on the community, and that student support and so forth. It's really great. So
Can I do a shameless plug for Emily?
yes.
I donated to the Friends to direct money to her her summer reading program and the pop-up events, storytime events, and she makes incredible use of every penny that she gets. I mean, I'm actually very, very, very impressed with how she's able to make that money stretch and stretch and stretch some more. So kudos to Emily. Tell her thank you.
I will do so. That's it. That's it for my
Okay.
director's report.
Okay, so now we go into statistics.
Yeah, so our statistics, that thing summary here of what we provide in a given month at the library is robust and growing. More books borrowed than the same time last year, and it says we had fewer visitors. I mean, Okay, I don't know what that's about, but. It's sometimes it's funny how you check out more things, but fewer people came or vice versa. I don't know, there are some fluctuations. But it's normal, it's
More
within
sunny
normal,
days.
it's within normal range, yeah.
So moving the two book things to the park, would that affect there, or do you take in account that?
Think so, because those pop-up story times in the park from 6 to 6:45. That is not a time when many people usually come to the library. We don't have real heavy traffic that lasts an
Okay.
hour typically, so I would not say. That should. And it didn't happen this month anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay, very good, thank you.
but I wouldn't see it diverting people from the library.
But I might consider putting those. I mean, what you're doing is, I would, if the things like, if you're gonna expand and do more things outside the library like that. Or you increase your attendance. I might give yourself credit for
Yeah.
visits,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
because
well, we do capture it in program attendance,
in what?
program attendant.
Oh, okay, but you,
We try to do as much as we can in the library, just because then people can also enjoy our materials and other services, but we do outreach as well.
I mean, if your outreach is becoming as
Yeah.
successful.
But you're right, we need to
You
make
wanna
sure,
hit it, you wanna make,
yeah,
I mean,
That's
you wanna
true.
make sure you're
Cause
taking.
if they're coming to a program that's in the library, they get counted as a program attendant, and also in the visitors.
they would be
Right?
counted, yeah, that's true, you're right. That's it. It's a good point.
Yeah, I wanna encourage those, what you call them pop outs, if you're getting
Mhm.
that kind of attendance, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we want.
Reflected in
Pretty
Interesting. We
significant.
have to collect stats for the state, so we do them a certain way, but I'll ask them about that, cause it's
Yeah.
time to do that report. And I'll ask them how people usually capture. I'm thinking like if we had a table, how many people stop by the table?
Mm.
We don't really,
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
spot for that.
At a table would be a little different, but when you're actually teaching or having
Sure.
class or things, doing something. In the winter time, I mean, you might find that Jesse May has more room than you have over here. And if you, I'm not saying that, I'm just making
Right.
up an example. You might find that you'd be forced to go over there and you would wanna have credit for that, I would think. That's all I'm saying.
If you had that event here or over there in the library, would you count those people?
Well, the gate counter counts them.
I mean, would they
So,
then
yes.
show up and
They would show up in both places
And the
as a
statistic-
program attendee and as a visitor.
and,
Um,
more on statistics or,
unless anyone has any questions, that is all.
okay, now the financial report.
Oh, sorry, I did have one more page of statistics. I just include that just so you can see where we are in the context of the entire county. So I just feel like it's kind of interesting, and I think that was something the board enjoyed seeing, so,
I've always enjoyed it.
yeah.
That's-
So financial report, okay, so, this is as of the end of August. With 9 weeks elapsed, those first 2 months of the fiscal year are a little bit longer. They're both 31-day months, and so if you see the targets look a tad off, that's mainly why, it'll like even out as we go, but, and then another thing that is kind of skewed at the beginning of a budget cycle because of the fiscal year falls in the middle of summer reading. We always spend more in programming at the beginning of the fiscal year because we're still in spending mode for summer reading events and so forth. And so but overall, our budget looks fine. I think there maybe just have been like one extra pay period or something in this. Is it, yeah, whatever, it's all on track.
This is a good view.
Yeah, we keep a good eye on it. Having the transfer out now for facilities makes it a little more clear where our buckets are that we can impact. You know, those fixed costs like the utilities and so forth now come out of a different fund. Janitorial, things like that, so, you can see a little more clearly where our discretionary funds go. And of course, our biggest expense is personnel. We have, some really great expertise on staff. A full-time librarian, full-time early literacy specialist, and a full-time supervisor, so, my hours now are not all 100% being allocated to library, because I help with some city administrative work. And so. That's. I don't remember exactly how that is right now, it's in flux. But that sort of, reflects in the budget as well.
Just out of curiosity, how, if you have a 40-hour week, how is it allocated by hours, so to speak?
I mean, when we fill out our timesheets, I would put how many hours I spent doing boards and commissions
Right.
type work, or now that I'm, doing some other administrative things, we're like figuring out where I should allocate those, but it really varies depending on what's going on, so,
Okay.
yeah, during meeting week, like a heavy meeting week like this, or the week I have a work session and a staff report and stuff like that, it's gonna be a little more. But think maybe 15 hours a week,
Wow.
Okay,
that not just boards and commissions, but like maybe some HR department head. You know, at the administrative terms.
good. Thank you.
So is that it for the financial report?
Yeah,
Okay, let's go on to ongoing business.
okay,
WCCLS funding and governance update.
yeah, so I actually have a little slideshow for this, if you don't mind. Seeing that again, Counselor Hagedorn.
Love it. I don't even
Because-
think we got to see it.
Oh,
Because of the screen issue, remember?
yeah.
And we got the cute little baby one last night. But
Alright. Okay, so, Larry, bear with me for 1 sec while I, open that and then try to reshare. I did the work session one though. Okay, good. Alright, so this was a council agenda item on Monday, so I prepared a little slideshow for it and, because to inform council and also informing you of where we are in the process. Larry, what do you see in the share? Oops,
I see all your faces.
okay, just a sec. Do you see my slideshow now?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. All right, very good. Do you still see it?
Yes,
Okay. I know there's
It's
some.
beautiful. it's lovely.
Okay. The captions on. Okay, anyway. So, this is a multi-year project that's facilitated by Marina and Company Consultants. You know, Washington County hired them to lead us through a funding and governance project evaluation with all the member libraries in Washington County. So the goals are to improve service consistency and equity across the county. The formula was a bit, some people referred to it as a black box. Cause it had some criteria at one time, and then it was sort of frozen and changed, and new libraries were added, and it got very untransparent. And so this project was partly to see how the funding that's allocated to the different member libraries, how much per household or how much per person is that coming out to. Okay, so And then the second goal is to support community needs by creating a library system with a fiscally sustainable future. With our tax system in Oregon, when inflation is low, it's easier for employers and government to, especially because of taxes, to keep up with expenses. But when you have periods of higher inflation, unless you've saved a lot, which your constituents don't always want you to save a lot because they want the money to be put to work for things, you get in a point where the property tax isn't going up as fast as the expenses are, and we've been through a period like that. So the cost of personnel especially, and materials and service, you know, it's far outpacing the 3% a year that taxes can increase. Even new building, here in Oregon, you have you have an assessed value and a market value, so the assessed value is lower, and it's based on this really interesting formula where they take, what would your house have been worth in 1980 something? And then they add 3% per year or something like that to get to your assessed value. Even in a new house, it's not your full market value that you're paying your taxes on. And then that's measure 5 and 50. The other measure caps your taxes at, you can't pay more than $10 per thousand on education and more than $5 per thousand on other general government. So say you voted yes on every single levy and your tax bill was over that, you wouldn't pay anything over that. Like, even if you voted yes, they'd say, sorry, we're not taking it because you already paid the $5 per thousand. That's how it is in Oregon right now. So the county is running into budget shortfalls, as not because of they're doing anything wrong, but just because of this phenomenon or how things are here. And so they had to look for ways they could, you know, do a big study to see if there's any way to economize that we hadn't thought of. You know, because we are a big cooperative. So in the project, there's been some milestones. The first big one was to establish a
Robin,
common.
sorry,
Yes.
Robin. Yeah, I
Yes.
just, for people who are watching this recording, you're not, your slides are not moving forward. I can see them on the side, on the sidebar, but, the main slide's not moving forward. Cause you're on slide number 3 now.
We're
Sorry.
on presentation mode here, but on Zoom it must not be. Or maybe his screen is frozen.
I can try to refresh it.
Why don't I do it this way? I wonder if this will help.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
We'll just do it like this, it's fine. So that first milestone was to establish a common understanding of what libraries are currently providing and how much it costs. Okay, and so that was the current assessment report that came out in November. Oops, and then we wanted to establish acceptable base library service levels that all households in Washington County could have available to them, and identify options for funding those by the county. And so we did, that deliverable was in the spring of that future state baseline service level and how much it would cost with some funding alternatives. So now where this arrow is where we are currently, and we're establishing metrics to allocate funding to partners operating the libraries, and we're one of those. So there's a work session scheduled with the County Board of Commissioners next month. And what we are to bring to them, although it may be now delayed because they wanted to, you know, find out more about the process. 2/3 of cities and 2/3 of the nonprofit members must agree on a funding formula in new service areas. That is what the Board of Commissioners asked for, that you get 2/3 agreement and then bring it to them and present it as the kind of the choice.
So that's then at the council level?
No, this is the executive board. So this is the city managers and library directors with county administration.
Oh, the 2/3 vote?
Oh, the 2/3 is of the member libraries
Okay,
organization, so
would it be like at this board?
no, it would be. At the executive board level, so Bill Reed is our executive board member.
Even above that? Okay,
And so, it's staff, these are staff work sessions with county administration,
okay.
yeah. However, our elected and appointed officials are important, and so this is the point in the process where we let you know what all the work we've done, what everyone's come up with, and see how you feel about it. And so that is what we're doing this evening. So we had several work sessions as an executive board, so all the city managers, library directors, and county administration to talk about the service area boundaries. And this arrow is pointing to our new service area boundary that's been proposed. It's a little different than our old one, which was maybe. It went all the way up to Columbia County and it did not go below 26. But when we went through the process, we were looking at. Instead of dividing into census blocks, we used voter precincts because it wasn't as, weren't as many and they're updated every year. And it just made it simplified it some. But for those of us in Western Washington County, that light purple area, that's the Banks School District. And we
Really?
did overlay their school district because we have relationships with, the library has relationships with those schools. And so we did, we thought they should have those, and we also looked at who's using what library. Okay, so that was another factor, but I feel great about the service area we have. It's all, this is who is using our library the most, and it also includes all of our elementary school boundaries.
So it's a true reflection in your opinion.
It is, because before it didn't go below 26, well, Holiday Ridge's elementary school boundary goes down below 26, and those people were using our library, it showed very clearly in the data. And so I'm like, well,
Robin, I have a question about banks.
okay,
You said there's some kind of overlap between the school district and the library, right?
correct.
In this
We
map.
Did the boundary so that it went along their school district line.
Right.
And it didn't put their school district in our. service area.
And so my question is, does that mean that their schools have library collection in their
No.
schools? Oh, okay.
No. No, it's really simply because the library has a relationship with those schools, like we visit all the classrooms at North Plains Elementary and at Valley Ridge Elementary at least twice a year. And so the kids know Brianna and Emily, they come to our library. We issue their student library cards, same with Banks in their school district area. So we're just sort of,
Partners.
yeah, it just made sense and we talked about it and we're like, those are important. Those are important service area boundaries that, we wanted to reflect. We do have this, a little striped area. You see that it's part green and you can't really tell, but it's part light blue.
Oh, yeah.
So
Kind of
that,
like a yellow.
yeah. That's a voter precinct we're sharing with Cornelius Library because of the usage. It was about, I think it was about 50-50. And so we agreed to split the population in that one. So, part of it going towards our service population and part to Cornelius.
Mhm.
And so,
Robin, I had a follow-up question. So Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just
Tim.
wondered who the blue is.
Cornelius.
Cornelius? Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, I not trying to think outside the box or create problems, but how clearly defined is the line between WCCLS and school libraries? Because one of the issues we have is how to increase, access, for the collection, et cetera, and do it, with the existing funds. And I'm just trying to think of, is there a way to work with the school district more intimately on the library part of it, so they have a better collection available inside the school, but that would also count toward the library count, like of folks coming through the door. Are you following me?
I am, but those are totally separate right now. And the public is not allowed into elementary schools to use the collection, so I guess I don't quite understand how it would apply.
Okay, I was just thinking, for the
Yeah.
folks that do go to school, that's that's part of our target market, right?
Well, you're it, Alec, if you're doing a research project, can you say that some books? Or do you say that there might be some books at the North Plains Library that you might go there to help to find?
I would say
Other
definitely
than-
over the school library, because the kids can only get 2 books at once to take
Okay.
home.
So. So
And
the
there's
teachers.
the
And there's no
collection's not big
librarian.
enough. Right,
So
yeah,
the educators would refer students to their proper city
yeah, definitely.
library.
Mhm.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
And so, once the service area boundary was, determined, then the consultants, analyzed a lot of data, and they determined that the smallest libraries or the smallest areas wouldn't go below a certain, amount. These 4 units was the smallest amount, and you can call it an FTE if you want. It didn't really exactly equal an FTE, but whatever. And so then they connected a dollar amount to each of those units, so it was 128,000. And that is how, and that they came up with the funding allocation. So for every additional 2,500 people, they added a fraction of a unit to your allocation. Banks and us are at the, that lowest one. And that is, was determined to be 128,000 per unit, and, which would make our proposed allocation $512. $512,000 a year. Our current allocation is 209,000. This is just proposed, there's a
Yeah.
lot, it's, still has
Dreaming
to
big.
happen. But, pretty good news so far. Okay, so then I cut this off, I cropped it because the other options laid out in it were a no-go by Board of County Commissioners. They asked for an update, and they said absolutely not to those other options, so I just cropped them out because they are the authority on the money, so we are just what I just showed you, 512 thousand. That's things, here we are, from 209, 616. This is proposed, this is what the 2/3. We're seeing if council has consensus that this is a clear formula, that it's okay to move forward and say we're a yes, and as part of that 2/3, which council did on Monday.
So my understanding is that part of the increase will that the council or the city budget will reduce their contribution, or is it?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so our budget
our budget that's
will
approved
stay
will stay
somewhat
the same.
clear,
Yeah.
except the funding now will be more secure. In that the county
Oh.
and that levy is little, maybe it's more secure, I don't know. Maybe I'm-
Well. I mean, a few things have to happen for this $512,000 allocation to occur.
Yeah.
The first thing is I'm sure that it will not be that amount if the countywide levy doesn't pass in
Right,
November.
right, I understand that.
And then, we also, by the end of this fiscal year, must have a new intergovernmental agreement with Washington County. For if we would like to be a member library, like our agreement is ending. And so we'll enter into a new 5-year agreement with them. That agreement will lay out the funding piece and also what we're responsible to provide with those funds. That's our next step in the process. In this multi-year project, is that governance piece, but if the levy passes and the cities, 2/3 of the cities and nonprofits agree, and the Board of County Commissioners agrees, and then the tax money is there and so forth, then it will happen.
So,
So you have a big meeting next week.
So that meeting was actually canceled
Oh,
since I put this together. Because of the work session from last week, the County Board of Commissioners decided they wanted more details on how we got to this point. And so they asked for county administration to prepare work sessions for them, to walk them through all the work we did, so they understand kind of how we got to where we did a little more. And so instead of this, we still have the meeting, but it's gonna be an executive board meeting. It's not gonna be a work session. And I don't know when the app, so the schedule's just adjusted a little. I'll update you as I know.
yes.
Um,
So may I ask something clear, the levy, all that money goes to the libraries, that the county is not able to use that money?
nope, I'll go back to this here.
Yeah.
So you can see that WCCLS is one of the WCCLS department of the county is one of the places that gets an allocation. Remember, WCCLS does our website, our digital collection, our
Yeah.
courier, our internet for all the libraries. And our integrated library system that has all the library card data and all the materials, you check out data. So that costs a lot of money for them to provide that for 16 locations, so they do get an allocation also. But the levy itself is not all of the budget.
No, that's what I was curious, is that
It has to go to library.
last year, when the county reduced their
General fund
normal
contribution.
general fund, so
Mhm.
part of the money that we get from the county, some's out of the levy and then some is out of
County general fund.
the general fund.
Correct.
So the levy amount basically cannot, that money stays into WCCLS. The money that was reduced is the commissioners, for reasons, chose to reduce the contribution out of the general fund to WCCLS. Is that the only, do I have that right in my
Yes.
head?
So you do. There's been budget cuts for their department, there's.
No, I know there was a budget, it wasn't, it was shared across all the departments. I was just trying to, my impression, I was just trying to understand the funding.
Yep,
The
the county general fund is having a squeeze and they are,
Right, but we get there is some allocation out of the general fund to the libraries.
there is,
So
There is.
you're asking, in a way, essentially, there's two funds.
Two funds,
yeah,
yeah,
there are.
that's what I'm trying to, so.
Pull up, I could show you that slide super quick, I just don't know. if
All right, so I understand that there's two funds. And one of them comes out of the general and the other one comes from. the
And that general
so-
fund transfer is not in writing anywhere that they have to do it. It's a legacy transfer that they're honoring the past,
With the new
Would you-
levy,
when
do
they-
they still plan on transferring out of the general fund some, or
So,
are
yeah.
they looking for the levy to
It'll be
support
less.
the libraries?
No,
We'll
it'll be
just-
less, but here it is right here.
Oh, nice.
So, oh. It's the budget. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so
Oh, okay,
right now. You'll see that the county general fund is about 60%, I think it's 55% and
Yeah.
45% levy.
yeah, okay,
After the next levy, if it passes. Because it's a little bit higher, it will be more like the other way, 60-40 or so. So about 60% levy, about 40% general fund, which is the direction the county is wanting to go. Because they have a, the budget squeeze, right?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
that-
I understand.
that help?
That
Okay.
clarifies it for me, thank you.
Yeah, and this was part of the levy information presentation that I gave to Chamber
Oh,
and to you all, and that Lisa Tattersall gave to council.
very good, it must have been last meeting that I
I
missed,
think it was.
sorry.
That's okay, no worries. I can give it to you if you wanna come by my office. I can give you a personal presentation of the levy information.
I don't, I might, so.
Okay.
It's not, I got
Alright.
my question answered now, so I don't know that I have any more, so I'm happy with that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. So this was an agenda item Monday for council and now I'm also want to bring it to you as our advisory board. What do you think about this? Is the formula transparent? What do you think of the service area? Do you have any feedback for me? Then I can pass it along to Bill. And council.
What do y'all think?
Yeah,
Well,
I think, back to Tim's question, I think that's probably gonna be a common question that comes up. If we could highlight that slide for folks, because as a taxpayer, I'd be going, okay, so am I still on the hook or not on the hook and for how much?
Yeah, what, for North Plains in particular. When the levy rate, if it passes, at the higher rate, the current rate is expiring. So that current rate would not continue. If the new rate, passes. That cost for North Plains, residents would be spread out over a larger area. Because all the property in Washington County, we paying a little bit more. And then it would be less city general fund going to make our budget whole. We have been, so it helps make it so that people's taxes in our whole service area are reflected back to them in the library service they're providing. And it's a little more even. It's not such a heavy lift for the people that live inside the city limits. That's who uses our library is not just that little 1 square mile or whatever. Our service area is quite a bit larger, so it does make sense that everyone in that, contributes to that library service.
Yeah, if you could encapsulate that in 30 words, that would be
Okay.
great.
Oh, I'm so tired of talking. Sorry. So yes, that's a good, yeah.
Okay, any other thoughts?
Well, I think the service area is appropriate to match up with the schools. I think that's. For us, where we have two elementary schools that we can match it up. I think that's premier. I'm sure that in Hillsborough matching up they have more than one library and that creates a whole different issue for them. And for Beaverton, but for us, I like that it matches up to our schools, to our service area. I think that's a good decision for us and banks. Looks to me, transportation wise, it looks like it's divided that it's easier for people to get to banks that are assigned and easier for people to get to North Plains that are assigned. And, the money part, I understand and I'm supportive of that as well.
Thank you, Kim.
I just love the intentionality behind partnering with the school boundary zones. I think it makes a lot of sense to do it that way.
Yeah, us and Banks had to really advocate for that, because they wanted to just stick with the voter precincts, and like, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
What are your thoughts?
I think that's great. I think that's great, especially considering the weird boundary zone issue too for Banks and North Lions. I mean, I think that. It's pretty amazing how I'm always amazed when you show that map. I've seen that twice now, and just the service area that
Mhm.
this library serves is pretty great. So
Yeah,
it's just interesting how far and wide people come to.
yeah.
I'm also agreeing. So good. My question is, how much does that area grow? This geographical area?
What-
Has it, the
How
map?
much has it grown?
Yeah,
Actually, it's about the same population as our previous service area, but it's shifted a bit. So part of the east is at those, it was in our service area, but the people in that part were using a Hillsborough library. It was real clear. It was like 5% using North Plains. So we're like, that should be in your service area if you're serving those people, and that's where they go, because they're probably going east and not going through towards downtown North Plains. And that's fine.
do you have what you need from us?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
we can move on?
It'll be an interesting levy.
Yeah,
So I would, I don't know the facts or anything, but I would assume that most people think that the libraries are totally supported by the levy. Not so much out of the general funds of both the county
It's really
and
interesting
the
how that
city,
came to,
which was sort of new to me.
there's two things I vote for. I mean, I don't even need to see them, libraries and schools.
Yeah.
This, okay, new business.
okay.
Review of our work session with the council.
Yeah, so I passed out a handout to you, and this is the handout that I provided to council on, we had a 30-minute work session Monday before the council meeting. And it was, talk to council, so thank you, those of you on the library board who were able to come, Larry and David, were able to come, Megan and, Bridget were able to come.
That's, I
So we
apologize.
had, no, it's okay, you were,
I was
That's-
just, it was,
it-
I had something come on me really quickly.
I had the same thing over the weekend probably that
Yeah,
you did,
so-
so. No, having 4 of you all there was wonderful, and that is totally okay and understandable if you couldn't come, but, it was a chance to talk with the council about our work. The work of the library, the work I come and share with you, that you can then share out in the community, and. So I just did a summary, we have a work plan that we have with the city manager, and it's not exhaustive, cause we hadn't. I mean, but it are the big projects, I would say, are pretty well represented. Of work we accomplished last fiscal year and projects that are, we owe a hotspot one now, you can mark as complete, but, I would say this is quite a work intensive process, this funding and governance process. And so it has, it's time consuming, it's worth it, it's very, very important. And it's important for North Plains, and it'll bring us a more of a fair share of resources, which is great for all the households here. And so I'm really proud of that work, it's a big one.
One question, so the broadband and the carpet paint, waiting for Public Works capacity.
Yeah.
Is that because they put out the bids and coordinate getting that done? Is that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. That'd be great. I've done it for the last few things and,
Okay.
But, I don't really have capacity to do that. And so unless it's an emergency, it's tough, but for like the HVAC project, I did all the bids and met with all the contractors. And
I guess
have that done.
my question is, the annex here and putting money into the annex, which is, originally on the downtown planning and
Uh-huh.
improvement, they were gonna put the city hall, one of the projections, they put the city hall across the street.
That
Where
was
the
one of
red
the
building,
ideas.
one of the ideas, and was to expand the library.
Yeah.
Now it's, and it never was mentioned about the beautiful new building.
Well, that's the
I-
Public Works building.
Yeah, but the city hall has,
It wasn't intended to be a city hall.
I understand that. But it's a beautiful building, it's well done, and it's really nice that the city is able to take as much advantage of it as it can.
It
I
is.
just
It's great.
wonder where the city is in their long. Has their planning and thoughts and discussions changed on how they're gonna use the annex? And
The
how the public works building, the annex, and the long-term downtown improvement plan, that's all.
That's all
If
you've
they,
written
no, if they,
Read it more.
if they're having discussions about.
Yeah, we kind of reached a spot with this building where it's quite old cinder block building. And we are not sure what the materials in the walls are. And there is no space, there's no space in this building that's bigger than our children's area at the library. There's no open space that's bigger where we currently have story time.
Yeah.
So we would have to take out walls in this building and do quite extensive remodeling
To make it
to
open.
make it open, ADA compliant, et cetera. There's like weird floor things in here. The bathrooms are definitely not accessible and, so before embarking on a big remodel project like that, you really want to see what your return on investment's gonna be.
Yeah,
And the first step to see if it would be even feasible is to do an environmental study to see what materials we would be disturbing if we did a remodel, and that's about $7,000. Bill got a quote for it, and so that is something that we sort of hit pause at that point to see if it was gonna be like a council priority or not, and that's just sort of where. But we could use it as is for staff space, which we desperately needed. And then, getting the friends out of the yellow house was a priority for me, cause I felt like it's.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah. I
in
guess,
disrepair, so anyway,
yeah, my concern is a lot of times. You'll remodel something to make do,
yeah,
but once you remodel it, that make do becomes.
Yeah.
That's what you end up with.
I see what you're saying.
You want a vision.
I want a vision
Yeah.
before I would spend a lot of money on remodeling
Yeah,
this,
Exactly.
because if you put $100,000 or whatever you take in here. I find that all of a sudden then we just cause we have lots of things we want done in a limited budget, a
Mhm.
lot of hard decisions. But then that becomes, we're okay with that.
yeah, we can think bigger than that.
And
here.
so that's what I would wanna,
We can have access.
as a
to
library, I
funding.
would wanna try to protect the.
Remember,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had, yeah, exactly. That's a good thing to take back.
remember, we got $5 million in lottery funds towards our public works building.
Yeah.
That downtown improvement, Tim was our library board representative on
Yeah.
that committee, and there were some really wonderful library expansion
Yeah.
plans that we worked on that would preserve the beloved building that the community, all
Yeah.
pitched in to build, and also expand it back into the side so that it would be still single story, which is easier to staff, so it's more economical, good sight lines, but add more public space, and we're really hoping to be able to do that, cause when this library opened, the population was 1,700 people in Arclids.
That's what I hope that,
Yeah.
that
I hope.
whatever you decide. The city and decides that it's part of a long-term planning than a short-term.
Yeah,
Roadmap.
shot,
and there's
than a
lots of
short-term,
use for funding for
a
library.
lot,
don't worry.
than a short-term fix.
I
That's
agree,
all-
I
that's all.
agree. This is great, though. The staff really appreciates having this space, and because we could use it as is, it's a very practical use, because I didn't even increase our supply budget. I'm like, just, use what we have. We did get some height adjustable desks for
Yeah.
ergonomic reasons.
That's all, that's all.
But thank you, yeah.
So,
Good stuff.
you know, that site over there, that used to be where we held our city council meetings and planning commission meetings. Can you
Can
believe
you
it?
imagine
Yeah.
council fitting in there?
That is
Oh,
so
in the
nice.
library?
We couldn't even
No,
get story time.
city council.
In the
In,
library?
in the, on the side of the
This is our
building.
city.
Oh, the little room right over here?
In
Yeah, no, the big room
Oh,
over there
okay.
where the table.
Yeah,
is.
that's pretty tight.
Yeah. Okay, okay,
Okay, so that
Count-
is the update, and you can, and then the work plan, Larry, I think I gave you a copy, I can email it.
I wanna make one comment, probably for our ex officio here. I was really impressed with the meeting. I thought it went well. You guys asked good questions. You were interested. And when I went there, I had no idea what was gonna happen, you know, and, but I think half hour was the right amount of time.
And I did have a little slideshow for that also, but I wasn't gonna replay it since
Yeah,
some of you were there.
but I thought it felt good when I left.
Good. I think those work sessions are critical to make sure everybody's kind of lockstep together and feeding each other information and also meeting each other where they're at in terms of needs, asks, et cetera, so.
Yeah. Okay, staff update,
Yeah, I
is
just,
that part of it or?
I added this as an agenda item because when I met with Bridget to do the agenda, there were several things, that. Well, I guess I kind of covered them in my report though, but, it was like staff anniversaries and this and that, and so, but I think I already remember all that. Is there something
Okay.
else? Let me think. Um. listen,
Okay,
nothing-
so can we move on then? Future discussion topics?
Well, we don't have any on this agenda, but we did identify one,
Yeah,
Oh,
for,
yeah, volunteer.
volunteer, recruitment
yeah, that's,
with Jason. So it
right,
would
right,
need to
that's
be a meeting.
after November.
Yeah, it will be after November, I would say the first of the year, we can put it on January's if you want.
Okay,
So, question, I know we've been working on this, but I haven't. Do we have any responsibilities on the levy that we need other than as private citizens or? The levies in November?
So you kind of, we did that, oh, you were, I think it was at the last meeting, were you here for my little campaign? So maybe just review the campaign rules, but you as appointed, board members fall under the same category as staff, for what you can and can't do. As far as in your library board role, so you can't say, I'm Tim on the library board and you must vote yes on the levy, but you can say. I'm Tim, I serve on the library board and, I'm not speaking for the entire library board, but as a individual, I support the levy. And you should vote for it, you can do that. It's really just saying, especially if you're known as a library board member, think of your audience. Like if I'm in my neighborhood, campaigning for the levy, people don't look at me and see North Plains Library Director, right? Like, so I'm not, like, I'm speaking as an individual when I'm out in my neighborhood. Like they don't, but if I'm here in North Plains, everyone sees me and is like staff, library director, right? So I'm seen in a different way. So even if it was a Saturday or Sunday or something, if I was like, vote yes, that I would have to be like, I'm just here as a, individual, I'd have to be really specific about it. You know what I mean? So it kind of partly just,
So would you?
you can't speak for the whole board. is what I'm
Board,
saying.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we just act as individuals. on
So yeah,
this one.
but as individuals, you do what you want, you can
Okay.
get a sign in your yard. If you don't know where to get a sign in your yard, there's a pack you can get
Yeah.
connected with,
Okay,
so on your own
perfect,
time, or, well, I mean, your library board time is not that much, but. It's just that caveat of that, hey, you might know me as a library board member, but. Right now, I'm just your neighbor, Tim, telling you to vote for libraries or whatever.
all right, very good, thank you.
That is a brief summary of the training I gave you all in earlier meeting.
Okay, Friends of the Library update.
Well, we're just waiting on, some items to still be moved out of the building, some
This building.
documents and furniture, furnishings and so forth, but, so, I think Susan's working in there right now,
Hmm.
moving around some stuff, so it's just, it'll be, it'll go over several weeks of moving as people can,
When will,
get to things.
when will you guys, so I'm assuming that that's in reference to moving into this building.
Mhm.
When are you guys fully open now in front of the library in this building to the public or?
No,
No,
no, we don't have an open date yet for that.
Okay.
What we have done is sign an agreement to share the space with them, where we'll clearly, outline way. But the city still has a lot of non-library items to move
Mhm.
out of the space before the Friends can fully utilize it and move their operations in. And so we're waiting on that right now.
I see you have on there a bookstore. Is there a coffee shop still
I mean,
is that still a possibility or is it still, or has it been?
I don't think a coffee shop was ever part of it, but I think they wanted to have coffee. Like like a coffee dispenser with like
Oh,
Trader Joe's used to
okay,
have.
I thought it was more like
Where you
what,
get a little
what,
bit of
Brook-
coffee.
what Brookwood was doing. But
Really.
it's,
Hmm.
that's my impression, but
I
that,
don't believe we could do that just because of the use,
yeah,
but I think they were gonna try to have coffee and, it's still, that part of it, it's a separate organization, so we've agreed to share the space with them and then
but the Friends,
but the Friends are gonna. take
and
care
the
of
Friends
it.
are not gonna duplicate what Brookwood
I don't
had.
think
It was a
we'll-
little more, yeah, but it's a little more lower key than that. Okay,
so I
I
know,
had a misunderstanding for that.
I'm sorry. We all have to get background checks too, who's gonna work over here, so.
Yeah, if you have access to the building, cause you're sharing space with staff
Yeah.
and the public are coming in, they're
Oh,
gonna require that.
Which is weird, I didn't even need that when I was mayor, but
Interesting, it is interesting to me that like,
Yeah.
someone who could sign checks for the city doesn't need a background check.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you should look into that.
might be something new too.
Okay, ex officio,
Oh, boy, Mandy's tired.
yeah, what do
And
I?
quite the-
Yeah, everybody here is tired, a lot of people here. It's been a long week. We've had a city council. On Monday, last night was a big night because we had I don't even know what it was, a work session or a special session.
It was a
that
special
and-
council session.
We interviewed mayoral candidates. I thought it was kind of put together quite nicely in terms of it's very organized, structured. I hope it wasn't, and Mr. Hatcher was one of the mayoral candidates, and I hope he didn't scare you away too.
No,
There was multiple.
I'll be back.
Good.
Been here 44
There-
years, you're not going
There
anywhere.
were multiple, I don't know how many rounds there were, I lost track.
Voting?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know what time we walked out of there,
It's after 9.
yeah.
9:20.
So you did not make a decision.
There was a stalemate, but we did decide to meet at a future date for a work session. And so what I think, and I like the direction they're going is kind of crystallizing the requirements expected out, expectations for the person, right? Cause it doesn't seem like there was competing,
Like the qualifications.
yeah, the qualifications or
Yeah.
perceived perceptions of qualifications.
I think that was a
aligning on
sticking
that.
point for sure.
That was,
From
there's
my
different
observation.
viewpoints, right? And I think that would be, and to answer your question, path forward out of it, I think that would probably be a good, I think that would be the critical path to really having some aha moments, hopefully, so.
How many candidates applied?
There were actually 5
Mm.
at one point in time, it was kind of crazy, right? Like,
Someone dropped out, so there
Yeah.
were 4 who
Yeah,
interviewed.
Yeah.
there's 4, yeah.
and each session was about 20 to 30 minutes, depending, and hopefully, I mean, I've never had an interview that long, like in front of a
Really?
panel. Like,
Really?
not that long,
Oh, man.
I've been in face to faces
I had 2 long ones. David was on one of my panels.
panel ones, wow.
I had 2 panels for this job, and
Wow.
one of them was, someone from the library board and someone from were you the chair of the library board at the time? Is that why it was you or
It may be, yeah,
back then? And then, the president of the Friends, but it was,
yeah.
yeah, and then, who else was on that panel? And then I had one with,
We had 4 people. I don't remember all who.
yeah, there was a WC sale, there was one with Andy, WC sales staff and, someone I would be supervising and another library director. That was the other one. But yeah, I can't remember who else was on. Anyway, doesn't matter.
So you still have the 4 candidates?
Yeah, no,
No,
No.
that process is now ended.
so we have a work session early October to align on requirements or qualifications. And align on a path forward, so.
So the
More-
process is ended and it'll,
But
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
Redone.
then it has to be advertised again in the paper,
Reopen.
and you got 2 weeks.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Maybe
so you,
October.
thing will have.
you
November.
had, you had a stalemate, your.
It was a stalemate and
And
like
then
we had to
redoing
redo, yes.
your process, and then you'll reopen it up. is what I'm
We'll have to
hearing
do
you
it
say.
all over and
Okay,
that is why we have odd numbers on boards and councils.
Mhm, But I mean, it was a tough, I mean, it was a tough meeting, all the candidates, they answered all of them. Everybody had unique advantages too and qualifications and unique attributes. And I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have that problem, right? And so,
And you can watch the recording if you
Yeah.
wanna see the interviews.
yeah, I figured it.
and I think in the future, we should probably have a concession stand, maybe Robin can bring her snacks.
Thank goodness I had.
Maybe
some
it'll be a
snacks
fundraiser, right?
because I got hungry at one point. I really had to eat some trail mix.
Oh, man,
Um,
I was thinking at one point in time, we should have brought our sleeping bags. So,
Really?
I would have paid $1 for a coffee.
see,
This-
we need concessions.
And this position is open till,
it's
It
not
would
open
be-
now, it's
No.
closed.
Oh, you mean
until
the term?
yeah, the term.
It would
Three
be
and a half, that's
December
3.5, 20.
Eight.
3 years.
Yeah,
and
28.
change.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you're not gonna have a special election, well, this person will
Then
roll to the term. to-
I wouldn't rule out that in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's an idea.
I think that's something,
The
I
charter,
know that would be the first thing I would do.
Yes, yes.
That did not work last night.
I agree. I agree. I did ask Bill last time before I left,
Mhm.
what would that look like in terms of timing and stuff and
I think we just missed the deadline for the November ballot.
and
And it could be on the May ballot.
Yeah.
The charter,
and if we're, yeah,
if you want.
exactly. So more to come on that, I
And
guess.
so voters have to vote on changing a city's charter.
And then
The
there would
council
be,
can't decide that.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a tic-tac-toe, at a certain point you go, there's, nobody's going to win. The only way to win is not to play. So I think, Mandy, your question of Bill was a good one, which is, is it possible to get it on a special election to? Because I'm
Yeah,
not sure,
it's
I'm not
next
sure
year.
if that's, you're gonna get past that
We still don't have a mayor by next
type,
year.
yeah.
And you change the charter
yeah,
and it
it-
passes. then
maybe,
you're good.
maybe next year's May election.
but it's what,
Mark-
I think it would, I think
May, you could,
I think it would make sense to revisit the charter and see if that would make sense, and it's what the city deserves, so.
I think you all as council at your work session, should discuss all the possibilities
Lots
and
of things to
think
think
about
about.
it and
So
Yeah.
3.5, I mean, it's a long,
it's a long time to be
Time.
without a mayor. It-
well, and a long
when
time
you've
to
been
go with,
in-
to go with I mean, you'd think you at least to try to get an election and the next general election.
We can't
in
unless the
November?
charter is changed.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
I understand
but
that,
then
but I
you
would
would-
think that
yeah.
would, I mean, it's sort of an unusual circumstances,
is,
but it
it is.
doesn't mean that for health reasons or whatever, that it wouldn't occur again.
That's true.
Yeah.
And one comment about our city council. And kudos to everyone on the council for coming up with not just great questions, but in the consideration of the candidates, I think they're being very fair, from, evaluating each candidate, the pluses and minuses from their perspective. I think they were very thorough and very fair, and I don't, I mean, that part of the process, I don't think you could improve because that thing, that was stellar job was done. I just think that you couldn't get over the final outcome, right?
It's hard. It's definitely hard. But I just loved learning about everybody too, you know? It was good.
I learned a lot.
I did too. I did too. It was interesting and, a lot-
Okay.
yeah.
I've got a question, a request, I guess,
Okay.
an agenda item to pass on.
Okay.
Um, um, work session with the Friends of the Library.
Oh, yes.
With a volunteer.
Yep.
Okay.
And can you describe what the outcome would be or talk an agenda?
Giving the city council direct, knowledge of who's involved there and what they're doing. You know, right now it's kind of word of mouth, you hear about it.
Could that be just an agenda item or they came and did a presentation?
I don't know how to me, a work session, kind of like the, library board did, would be fine, but, I'm just putting it out there, I would like to see the Friends of the Library in front of the council in some form.
Okay.
And, one thing I would, as I'm thinking of, we discussed about
Informational.
last night, how well it went is, you know, when we evaluated our new board members, we were pretty all caught off guard that it was a public session.
Oh, yeah.
We
Well,
might want to have a little bit of a training or something
yes. thank
for
you,
the next
Jen.
board. Instead of that,
Definitely.
none
I'm
of
so
us asked.
sorry that you were taken
We
by
had no,
surprise,
yeah,
about that.
since
I
I
apologize.
talked to Bill again about. And he assured me that we did the right thing, that.
Yeah.
But we should
Yeah.
have none of us felt comfortable discussing, we were caught off guard, and we might be, before
Yeah.
we have another board position and have that, we should maybe
So that
have
could be a future.
a little training. Or a little discussion of how we wanna handle that, because it was basically changing our traditionally what we've done before. And hopefully, the library's doing such a good job that we have more than one candidate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that we were caught up with that, we had four.
Yeah, we didn't
So
used
I
to
would do that,
recordings.
I would add that to
Yeah.
a future agenda item too.
Thank you.
More than happy to take that back and, I can reach out and give you an update of my findings.
Are you done with your report?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the, good of the order.
Okay, I have two things for me, and one is that it's pretty exciting. The library's 20th birthday is in April,
It's been 20 years,
20 years. So 2006 is when it opened. And so the library's 20th birthday, so we are gonna have some sort of celebration of the 20th birthday of the library. We would like to include the Wayne Holm,
oh, absolutely.
because he was instrumental in it happening, that the Friends of the Library raised funds. And then he got involved and built the building,
And when is that?
and donated it
April.
to the Friends. So the Friends owned the building until about 2 years ago,
Yeah. So,
or 3 years ago.
so I don't know if it'd be through you or Susan, but the original, those original board members,
Yes,
are they still around? I'm sure, I know some of them, because I ran into Carolyn
I
at
don't know if
Home
Debbie's,
Depot, so.
oh, right, I'm not sure, but we'll definitely, I would love to involve friends, board members, past and present, staff, past and present, so we're working on some sort of birthday celebration. We always celebrate the library's birthday, but this is a big one.
Yeah.
But we'll have cupcakes and story time or whatever. But so we're just, we're gonna get a little group together to plan it. And so I'm gonna
Party
say that,
planning committee.
yeah, and Emily is our star party planner, so she'll probably be on, although I haven't told her yet. Because it's so busy this week, but we'll probably have someone from the Friends, staff person, have a little like group because it's yeah.
This used to be a park here with trees all around it.
And the Friends raised $1 million to put the books and furniture
Yeah,
in the building,
yeah.
so. Yeah.
That's amazing.
With grants, they submitted tons of grants and, yeah, anyway, really, really cool. So, thank you. Oh, and then the second thing was that I am on the Oregon Library Association Legislative Committee. I was drafted. They had an opening and they called me because I'd participated in the last 2 legislative days at the Capitol, where we go and let our legislators know about bills that affect the library and how it impacts their constituents. And so I talked to Senator Weber and Representative Edwards. We're in usually little teams, and so then we'll go visit different legislators, and I'm very comfortable doing that. It's fine. They wanted me to be on the committee. Okay, so I'm on it.
Congratulations.
So you're taking on more.
Well, it's just 1 meeting a month, and this is a short session for the legislators, so we won't even go do the thing where we go visit, so it'll be just getting information out and stuff, so
Okay.
people know what the impacts of certain legislation would be, or, help make it more clear. Sometimes it's not real clear, when it's like, what would the impact be? We try to help people understand.
Translation.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, we're down to future meetings, October 15th.
I have something to say about that meeting. I will be gone. I will be on vacation, and Brianna will be our staff person. Brianna is at a conference right now, and she will be telling you about her conference as an agenda item.
So she'll be putting together the agenda then. I'd work with her, or,
Well, Bridget usually does it.
oh, is that right?
She's the chair.
Yeah, Bridget, so I don't know how,
Oh, sorry. So as the staff person, I won't be here.
Right.
Brianna, our librarian, will be taking my place, but our chair, Bridget, is who usually makes the agenda with me.
okay,
And I'll probably just talk to Bridget before I leave
okay, perfect,
about that.
okay,
That's a
but
change that Robin started.
yeah,
We met every, once a month before the meeting, and we set the agenda together. Well, before. I had not.
It was
done that.
my fault because I wasn't really following the rules.
Yeah,
so,
but I think it's worked out well.
I'll love everybody that.
Yeah, I think it's worked out well.
Anyway, I mean, it's not like people didn't have input, but
No.
anyway.
Yeah.
So now we're doing it more
Yeah, I don't know if.
scheduled.
Who is the old, the library director went to?
Will,
Will. I don't know
Will,
if he
yeah.
did
city
that or
manager
not.
member.
I don't know
had
if
my
he
job
did,
before.
if he did that, no.
is that where he's at now?
He's the city manager member.
Really? Wow,
Yeah,
okay, anything else?
no, I think we
No.
have a lot. We have
Okay,
a
I'm
lot.
gonna close the meeting at 7:27.
Excellent job.
Thanks,
Yay.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, David. It's great. And so I'm a little tired.
Well, I hope you get some good rest soon.
I was surprised last night after all we went through. I could imagine my brain just replaying it all, but I just crashed. I went out.
Really?
Good for you, I'm jealous.
Well, I will be here tomorrow and Friday, but it'll be more normal work days, so.
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
good.
This is all part of the job. It's all part of the job. Please
Yeah.
remember to come to pizza party, volunteers.
Is that tomorrow? That's tomorrow, right?
5 to 7.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long I'll be here. We're going camping this weekend and I'm leaving Friday, so I'm gonna have to get ready tomorrow. It'll be our last camping of the year.